So it's another week, huh? And as on a weekly basis, I usually come to try to anticipate what I'm expecting, for the week. And the previous week has been amazing. And I've tried to introduce a new concept here. Remember last month, I think this month of June, I introduced the concept of the daily biasness in my trading, and right now trying to introduce that I'll only be entering on an imbalance, right? If the 75 and 71% falls in an imbalance, that's when I'll be taking the trade. If they fall outside that imbalance, that trade I'm not taking it. This comes after I've analyzed, almost the 30 to 40 trades that I've taken this year, and I've seen that if I could have been strict on that, definitely I could have avoided a lot of losses and could have boosted me my RR, to a positive RR, right? And what I can say is, you don't just wake up and try to change things in trading. No, you rely on the data that you have taken. You rely on the data that you have executed yourself, leave alone the backtesting data. The trades that you have taken yourself, you take those trades and try to see what are the things that you could improve here and there. That's the loophole that I find, that if that 75% fib label falls exactly on the imbalance, then that's an A plus setup for me. If it doesn't, bro, I'm avoiding that trade at all costs. Yeah, like I'll be running out of that trade like never before. So this week I'll be basically looking at EURCAD. AUDCAD is a trade that I'm actively in. I'm also looking at gold. Actually, it's a magic. I'm also looking at US30 here and there. I'm also looking at GBPAUD, EURUSD, I think so, and a lot of more. So let's dive in. Let me show you what I'm looking forward for the last week of June. I'm starting out with gold. Definitely gold. It's not yet on my watch list, but I think it's a good opportunity. The previous week, you can see, I think I anticipated this long range here price probably could have come to that range, but it did reach the 75%. So yeah, pull all the way from there down right here. Right, you can see it rejected. There was a good imbalance here, but price never reached there. So yeah, this week again I'm looking at it very closely. Again, from the 75%, there is a very clear imbalance here, right? There's an imbalance right here. This is a very good range to be looking forward for. Break of structure, nothing else. You can call this a liquidity supply there, and because these are highs that have been taken out right there. And at the end of the day, it is what it is. And then we're just waiting for it to pull up to these zones right here. So I'm looking forward for shorts on gold from these zones right here, right there from here, and towards that. There's a clean 1 to 3 right there. You divide it against this correctly. It's supposed to be a clean 1 to 3 right there. So nothing much right there. I'm actually going to add it on my watch list this week. I'll be just watching it, nothing much, and as we try to improve here and there you go. So I've gold on my watch list, right? Very simple criteria that I'm actually at the moment observing, actually pulling back from these. These are the zones that I'm actually looking forward for, and definitely that is what I'm anticipating. Then I'm going to EURCAD, looking forward for EURCAD also. EURCAD actually I was anticipating for it last week to play out, and it didn't play out that much well as anticipated for it. But you can see when I pull this zone from right here, let me pull it now from the 75% zone right there. You can see my 75% falls actually on this imbalance right there. So this trade is still valid. If that is not yet the case, I'll be anticipating that I'll be predicting that probably price took out from this high right there, this low right here. But at the moment I'm looking forward from there, and that's with that done. I think price probably is done with moving to the downside, and we are going up because there was this break of structure right there. There was either liquidity sweep or post liquidity sweep. And then there is an imbalance here. So right now, probably optimistic that price can come back to some zones, reject from there. Already it has rejected, but not from the 75%. Took, I think, from 71%. But I know I'm actually focusing on only the 75%. That's why right now you see my feeds is only mentioned to 75%. So that is EURCAD. I'm just chilling and waiting to see what will happen. AUDCAD, I'm on this trade again, and it was not the trade that I had analyzed the previous week. It's just the rushing the main trade. So this is not the best of the trade. Even if it plays out, I don't trust this trade anyway, guys. It's just read what it is, man. I don't trust it. And these are the trades that sometimes adrenaline plays with you, and you find yourself taking trades that you are not supposed to be taking, right? And if you see this imbalance, it is 25%. It is falling. It's not on the clearest imbalance that it is at. But yeah, at the end of the day, I might be looking at closing at on this trade. Actually, it comes to mind, somewhere there. I'm looking at closing on it. To try and look for something. So I'm waiting for it to see what will be happening. But I'll definitely look forward to close out on this trade because I don't trust it. Right? Like I broke the rules. You can see here this imbalance is slightly, yes, it's close, but we are above, guys. We are above. Yes, we're falling on the 71%, but not on the 75%. Any strategy that I'm implementing, right? That's AUDCAD. EURUSD, 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 EURUSD. This is what I'm looking out for EURUSD. I'm waiting for EURUSD to come all the way up to the zones, right? But at the moment, I'm trying to take advantage of an internal structure right here. Right, have an internal structure right here, right? If you see, I have a 71% level and 75% level. They are not still that much. That imbalance does not fall on the 71% levels, right? When I pull it like that, right? It doesn't fall on the 71% level, if I'm not mistaken, because my balance starts from right there over here. So this one I'm cancelling it right there. So there's no trade right here. So the only trade that exists is this one, this trade right here. So supposed to do that and then add a new level right here. From those zones to right here, definitely right there. So you can see I have a very good imbalance, clear imbalance all the way from here. So zone right here, that's an imbalance right there, breakout structure. Very nice, very nice. Just waiting for prices to probably continue going out. I don't know how long it will take, but it is what it is. Okay, next one I have USD Sheriff. USD Sheriff, I'm looking forward for it actually to come to the downside also, because when I pull my feed from this lower right here to this high here, there's a good range that I'm looking at. How many pips? 57 pips, not that much, but yeah, it take a lot of time to come. But at the end of the day, if it comes out, I'll be in with it. Let's go to GBPAUD. GBPAUD, same thing almost with the USD Sheriff. I'm looking for it. How about for the breakout structure? Then I can remove these at the moment. Pull my feed from low here. You can see right there, it actually falls exactly on the imbalance. So these are the kind of trades that I'll actually be looking forward to take from now henceforth. Trades that have a balance exactly at the 75% levels, or else I'm not taking that trade if it happens to pay out. And then I have USD30. USD30 was waiting for it last week, and it didn't play out. But at the end of the day, we keep moving on, bro. Took it from there. That's it. You can see the 75% exactly on this imbalance. Those are the kind of trades that I'm looking to take forward for henceforth. Regardless of anything, I'm not taking that trade, bro. Because I've realized if I could have followed these simple rules, probably my RR right now could have been different. But at the end of the day, it's been 6 months implementing this strategy live on the market, and yeah, despite me being like having the lows and downs here, I've been able to learn of it, past challenges here and there. but it's not at what I expect it to be. That's why each day, each moment, I try to adjust it to try to see what are the improvements that I can be, and I can only do that if I have data that I've been collecting all the year, guys. Not about the backtesting data, the data that you've texted. And that's the good things, sometimes good thing about mechanical trading, right? Mechanical trading, you have fixed rules, you have the rules that you're following. Leave alone the other part we call the discretionary trading. I think I might not be good at that one at the moment, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. This is what I'm looking for. These are pairs that I'm looking for. I've already talked about gold. There are how many pairs? One, around 7 pairs. There are a lot of pairs, but definitely as the week goes by, I'll be dropping one by one here and there. So that's been my analysis, and I hope your week has also been good. Let's meet some other time for another analysis. Peace.